Hari Om, everybody. Let's get started. Om. गणानान्त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्याः सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्याः स्युः तं नमामि गजाननम् वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ब्रह्मा परमसुखदम् केवलम् ज्ञानमूर्तिम् द्वन्द्वातीतम् गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकम् नित्यम् विमलमचलम् सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावातीतम् त्रिगुणरहितम् सद्गुरुम् तम् नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयम् करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करम् लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करम् शङ्कराचार्य केशवम् बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम्. Hari Om, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly Vedanta classes. Happy Navaratri to all of you. Appropriately, we are studying the topic of Maya. In the 13th verse, we saw Shaktidvayam hi Mayaya Vikshepa Vritirupakam Vikshepa Shaktirlingadi Brahmandantam Jagatsrujet. We saw that Maya has two powers. Vikshepa Avriti Rupakam. The nature of projecting and veiling. What it does, Avarana Shakti, it covers the real, and Vikshepa Shakti projects the unreal and makes it seem as though it is real. We also learned that Maya is of the nature of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamo guna, Trigunatmika Maya. Its existence depends on Brahman. It has no independent existence. Brahma Ashrita Maya. But it is Gnana Virodhi. It is opposed to knowledge. So we have seen this example. We have seen this in the example of rope and the snake and the post and the ghost. The illusory snake appears to be there, but on discovery or on knowledge, it is not there. So we also saw that this illusion neither belongs to the category of Sat, existence, or nor it belongs to the category of Asat, non-existence. That's why we say Sat Asatbhyam Anirvachaniyam. It is inexplicable phenomena. It is also called as Mithya. See, although Tamas veils the truth, Rajas projects the truth, Sattva is the one which helps us to discriminate between the real and the unreal. That is our Viveka Shakti. We need to hold on to that Sattva. Then in the 14th verse, we said, he gave us the definition of Srushti, creation. Sarva Nama Rupa Prasarana. It is an expression of all names and forms, where in Brahma Rupe, in that Satchidananda Swarupa, Abdau Fenadivat, like the ocean, it is nothing but water. Or we also saw in the example of gold and the ornaments to explain the cause and the effect. And we saw that the cause alone permeates through the effect. For example, in the ornaments like earring, nose ring, etc., they have no independent existence other than gold. Without gold, no ornaments exist. Therefore, existence alone, Satvastu alone, pervades through the names and forms. That's what we saw in that verse. Then in the 15th verse, last week, we saw Drg Drshya Viveka Bahischa Brahma Sargayoho Avrunotyapara Shaktihi Sa Samsarasya Karanam Drg Drshyayoho Vedam. The distinction between the seer and the seen. And Brahma Sargayoho, between reality and the creation outside. What happens here? This is possible only due to the veiling power of Maya. What it does within, it veils the distinction between the seer and the seen, and outside, Bahihi, distinction between reality and the creation. Avrunoti aparashaktihi sa samsarasya karanam. So the seer and the seen is applied, or Drg Drshya Viveka is applied with respect to the jiva. The veiling power hides the true nature. I mistake myself to be this body or this mind or my intellect, etc., all on the inert matter. Then we applied the same logic to the world outside. What did we do? We started to say there is no God, only the world exists, etc. Then gradually over a period of time, or maybe a few janmas, after we start the vichara, after we start the inquiry, with the blessings of the Guru and the God, I begin to realize that these names and forms are a mere projection on that substratum. That is reality. That alone is Nitya, the eternal truth. Then we saw in the 16th verse, Sakshina Purato Bhanam Lingam Dehena Sanyutam Shitichaya Samaveshat Jivasya. What happens here? The subtle body or the Linga Sharira. We have already seen that definition before in one of the previous verses. Sakshinaha Purato Bhati. The witness in close proximity to the Sakshi or the witness, Dehena Sanyutam, identifies with the gross body, or we can say due to the influence of Chitichaya Samaveshat, due to the influence of Chidabhasa, Chichaya, the reflected consciousness, it is called as Jivaha, Vyavaharikaha. He or she becomes the individual. I hope it is very clear to you now. Then we saw that beautiful journey, how the jiva evolves over a period of time. How it begins as a paristhiti-vadi, a life of mamata, me and mine, slowly becoming a karmavadi, thinking beyond myself, there must be something beyond me, gradually inquiring, leading to a life of samatha, to purnata, a life of fulfillment. So the reflected consciousness gives sentiency to the subtle body, and through the gross body, Stula Sharira, as a counter, transacts with the world through the sense organs. And the problems begin with the sense of doership, kartrutva, that I am the enjoyer, bhoktrutva, and the transmigration, the samsara begins. From one body to the other body, I gather new vasanas, traveling here and hereafter, to different lokas. Iha loka paraloka gami vyavaharikaha jivaha. So far, I hope you are all clear in terms of the logical progression that our Acharya has given us. Now, moving on to shloka number 17. Asya jivattvamaropat Asya jivattvamaropat Sakshinyapyavabhasate Sakshinyapyavabhasate Avrutau tu vinashtayam Avrutau tu vinashtayam Vedhe bhate apayati tat. Now, asya jivatvam. This jiva, this limited entity, this jiva bhava, aropat, due to the superimposition, we call it in Vedanta as adhyasa, one of the triple A's I told you before. Now this superimposition, adhyasa, sakshinaha api avabhasate. It seems as though it appears in the sakshi. How is it possible? Like we have a colorless crystal. When it is near a blue cloth, what happens? It appears as though it is blue, but it is colorless. Then one might ask the question, so who is this who is bound? Bandhana is for who? Bondage is for who? Who needs to be liberated? See, the self or Atma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. It is ever pure, ever liberated. So there is no question of liberation. Then the Anatma or not self does not need liberation, or it does not even seek liberation. So this jiva, or due to this jiva bhava, we appear to be bound. So this jiva, or due to the identification with the body, appears to be finite, appears to be bound. That is why I was using the term notional identity, delusional identity. Because this notion has caused all sorts of commotion and emotion in my life. All due to what? All due to avarana or veiling. So, avrutau tu vinashyatam. So, when the veiling is destroyed, Vede bate, the differences become clear. The notion of finitude, the jiva bhava goes away. How beautiful it is. So the sense of limitedness goes away. Then we can recite the shloka number 5. Nodeti nastametyesha navruddhim yati nakshayam Swayam vibhatyatanyani bhasayet sadhanam vina. How beautiful it is. Now we realize what that Sakshi is. So in the language of Atma Bodha, we can say Parichinna Yivagnana Tannashe Sati Kevalah Swayam Prakashate Hyatma Megha Paye Amshumaniva. The fourth shloka. Once that cloud clears, the sun, as though it was hidden by that cloud, becomes clearly visible. This is the notion. That I don't know if it is Bruce Springsteen who sang that. Now we can say, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Right? That song. Like that you can sing when that notion is gone. See, one more thing we need to remember. See, the jiva does not remain to say, now I am liberated, now I am free. Because it was an illusory entity to begin with. So the bondage and the suffering, although it seems real, was imaginary. How? Like the dream is unreal to the waker. Moment you wake up, the dream is gone. Same way, but it seems very real to the dreamer. On realization, we come to realize Maya never existed. The notion caused me shoka, sorrow, was due to moha, delusion. See, when we defeat the 10-headed monster, this ego within us, how does he operate? With 5 karmendriyas and 5 gnanendriyas, 5 organs of action and 5 organs of perception. That is nothing but the Ravana within us. That is going after the desires of the world outside. When we realize and turn it inward to the Rama within, that is the Rasa Garbha, Rasa, that eternal joy. That is the Vijaya Dashami. That is the victory of our higher self over the lower self. I hope you all got that symbolic representation of this shloka. Now moving to the verse number 18 today. Tatha sarga brahmanoscha Tatha sarga brahmanoscha Vedama vritya tishtati Vedama vritya tishtati Ya Shaktistadvashat Brahma Ya Shaktistadvashat Brahma Vikritattvena bhasate. See, similarly, Tatha Sarga Brahmanoscha, at the macro level, Sarga Brahmanoscha Bedham, the distinction between creation and reality outside, Avritya Tishtati, due to the influence of veiling, that Avarana, it appears as though reality is undergoing modifications. Like the screen is there and the movie is projected. What does that mean? Maya veils the reality, causing the names and forms, the Nama Rupa of the world, to be perceived. Why does it exist? It exists because of lack of inquiry. So I told you it is Gnana Virodhi. It cannot stand the test of inquiry. How is this reality unveiled? So we will chant this shloka, next shloka today, but we will see the meaning next week. अत्राप्यावृतिनाशेन विभाति ब्रह्मसर्गयोः भेदस्तव्योर्विकारः स्यात् सर्गेण ब्रह्मणि क्वचित्. Actually, we'll stop here. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ तत्सत्. With that, I'll conclude today's session, short session. We will I'll open it up for our interactive session now.